Live from Wichita, Kansas, it's Unsupervised with Trenton Reese. So, welcome to the show, everybody. It's Trenton back again. I'm turning that mic monitoring off. Give me 1 second. Alright, well, now that that is squared away, let's get into the news, shall we? Alright, I'm glad that you guys can track us down for another episode of, well, okay, let's just be honest, a bunch of random fucking bullshit. No corporate handlers, no pre-approved sanitized talking points from some big media conglomerate, and absolutely nobody sitting in a glass office telling me what's acceptable to have on my show. Just me and the absolute goddamn comedy shit show that is the modern American news cycle. And if you want a genuine top tier laugh today, we have a look down the utter shit show happening at the American border down in Texas. Now look, let's lay down some baseline reality first. During the Biden administration, the sheer volume of people flooding across the border was completely fucking out of control. We're talking about an official data logging between 8 and 10 million people, and that's just what Border Patrol was able to report, while an estimated 2 million people managed to get away. That just vanished into the landscape, and it just turned the system into a massive unmitigated mess. Now, my philosophy on this whole situation is pretty damn straightforward, and I think most people with a shred of common sense agree. If you enter this country illegally, a detention center isn't supposed to be some luxury resort. It's a temporary holding spot. It's a literal stepping stone designed to get you processed, accounted for, and sent right back to your home country. It's track them, process them, and ship them back. It's supposed to be basic, it's supposed to be functional, and it's supposed to be temporary. But over the weekend, a bunch of high-paid suit and tie activist lawyers decided to file a massive federal lawsuit, a class action lawsuit at that, over a facility in El Paso called Camp East, Montana. And when you actually sit down and read what these bleeding heart activist groups are crying about, you realize that as a society, we have completely and utterly lost our fucking minds. Let's start with the absolute headline grievance of this entire lawsuit. The ACLU and their team of elite lawyers are out here bleeding their hearts to the media, weeping on camera about the, quote, dire and inhumane food situation inside the camp. So, with me being the guy who actually likes facts, I decided to look up what this horrific, torturous, soul-crushing diet actually consists of. And according to official legal filing for this camp, the daily meal plan has these lawyers trembling with fucking rage is 2 pieces of bread, a slice of bologna or ham, a slice of processed cheese, and a fucking cookie. Are you shitting me? A bologna sandwich and a fucking cookie. They're taking the federal government to court over what many kids are sent to school with by their moms every day. It's like, come the fuck on. Since when did the Oscar Mayer lunch meat package become a certified human rights violation? They're writing these press releases like these guys are being forced to break rocks all day and eat straight gravel. It's a fucking sandwich. It's literally what half of working class Americans eat while they're trying to save a buck or rushing out the door to a shift. You are in a temporary holding facility after bypassing legal ports of entry. You aren't at an all-inclusive Caribbean cruise ship buffet. to hear these lawyers tell it, the lack of... So according to these lawyers, the lack of an artisanal meat and cracker board and a side salad is a sweeping national tragedy. And think about the lawyers making this argument. You know, these bastards are walking out of the federal courthouse, hopping right into their luxury SUVs, and driving straight to a high-end steakhouse to order a $60 filet mignon on their firm's expense account, all while sobbing to a judge about the tragic lack of culinary variety in a West Texas tent city. It's peak activist performance art, and it's fucking exhausting. But wait, the food drama is just the warm-up act. The absolute gold medal for sheer unadulterated stupidity in this lawsuit goes to the environmental complaints. Camp East, Montana is a massive facility built out of heavy-duty tents on the Fort Bliss military base. Now, for anyone who's ever looked at a map or accidentally stepped within 500 miles of West Texas or El Paso, it's in the middle of a fucking desert. And what happens in the desert? The wind blows and dirt moves. It's called a fucking dust storm. It's been happening out there since the literal dawn of time. But this lawsuit explicitly states, and I'm not making this shit up, you can look it up yourself, the facility conditions are dire because when a standard Texas windstorm rolls through, sand and dust gets into the tents through the gaps in the structures, and people cough. What other shit do people cough from? Smoking cigarettes, having the common cold, COVID. There's just a big old huge fucking list of shit that people cough from. But here's the thing. Here's my message to them. Is anybody fucking home up there in your fucking brain? It's a fucking tent in the middle of the goddamn desert. What exactly do these lawyers want the government to do about it? Are they expecting the Department of Homeland Security to build a massive climate-controlled glass biodome over the entire West Texas county? Do they want to deploy a fleet of Roomba vacuum cleaners out to the brush to try to sweep the goddamn Sahara? It's nature. It's weather. If you put a tent in the middle of a sandy plain, guess what's going to happen? Sand's going to get in it. I've gone camping in state parks where the tent is zipped up absolutely perfectly, and I still woke up with little bits of sand in my mouth because that's how wind works, dumbasses. But these activist groups are looking at a standard Tuesday afternoon dust storm in El Paso and trying to turn it into a multi-million-dollar federal payout at the taxpayer's expense. It's a total scam, pretty much. And that's just the real comedy of this whole thing. Let's actually look at the money here, because you know damn well nobody is doing this out of the goodness of their hearts. Who actually wins if this lawsuit succeeds? It's the ACLU. It's the high-dollar corporate law firm, Farella and Braun and Martell. Under federal law, if they win the suit against the government agency, Uncle Sam has to cut a check directly to them for their legal fees. These corporate suits charge hundreds, sometimes even thousands of dollars an hour to write these whiny little legal briefs. They are using the whole fake bologna sandwich crisis as a front to secure a multi-million-dollar taxpayer-funded payday for themselves, all while blasting out fundraiser emails to line their pockets with private donations from guilty liberals. And what do the actual detainees get? The activist group claims that they are fighting this massive humanitarian crusade, but the legal reality of the class action lawsuit like this isn't to fix the border or change immigration law. It's a giant financial shakedown. If they win or settle, the lawyers, they'll pocket millions of dollars in hourly fees. The nonprofit gets a massive PR boost, and the actual detainees get processed and sent home away and maybe with a couple $100 in their pockets, while all these lawyers get millions of dollars. Yeah, go fuck yourself. This is just a big old fucking scam. The government is already running a chaotic system, but then you throw these scam artist activist groups in the mix, and the whole operation turns into a complete circus. The facility actually managed to get dinged by internal inspectors for failing a bunch of standard logistical checks earlier this year. But let's be honest, the federal bureaucracy can fumble a fucking open book test. But instead of letting the system focus on actual efficient processing and getting people home, we have to halt the entire train so lawyers can argue about the emotional trauma of a Nilla wafer. The whole point of a detention center is to be a processing station to get people back to where they came from. It's not a 5-star glamping retreat in Sedona. It's not a vacation. If you don't like the desert dust and you're not a fan of standard issue lunch meat, there's a very simple 100% effective solution. Don't cross the fucking border illegally in the first place. But as long as there's a camera to get in front of and a judge willing to listen, these activist groups are going to keep acting like a basic bologna sandwich is a crime of the century. But hey, that's just my take on this stupid bullshit that came out this week. Drop a comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think that a slice of Kraft American cheese requires a full congressional investigation, or just tell me your favorite way to doctor a basic sandwich. I don't give a fuck. But until next time, keep it real, keep it unfiltered, and remember, we are completely unsupervised. Catch you in the next one.